Unit 1, Lesson 1. I can show what I know about climate change and explain why we should take care of it. So to get to your lesson for the day, you are going to enter here and we are going to navigate to that lesson posted on Today in Science. So Unit 1, Lesson 1, I can show what I know. I can show what I know and explain about why we should take care of it. So again, I can show what I know about climate change and I can explain why we should take care of it. Those are the two things that I'm looking for when I'm grading my assignments, that you're showing what you know and that you're explaining why we should take care of why we should take care to prevent climate change. So when you come to your lesson plan page, it tells you the three things that we're using. So in my class, we use the 3 E's: engage, explain, and evaluate. So I've tried to construct the lessons so that even if you're not in class, you can get through the lessons and learn everything just like we would with that extra discussion piece that pushes the student learner. So to get to your next activity, you're going to hit next. And when I hit next, it takes you to my engage activity. So your engage, this is independent, so I'm not going to explain too much, is I see, I wonder, climate change. So first things first, we always read the student directions. So you'll read the student directions, you're going to watch the video, and then you're going to complete the I see, I wonder. Your directions will tell you how many sentences I expect. It will tell you how many sentences I expect in each column. So when you're completing your ICs, and remember, you can always make the copy bigger by clicking the blue hyperlink. When you're completing your ICs, you're going to type what you see in the video. So IC is observations. They're things that you can see through your senses. I wonder is questions and curious, like, kind of curious, like things you're curious about. So for example, if my task was to do the I see, I wonder for what I see out the window. Well, I see a tall green tree and I wonder why that tree is green. So I see is observations. Please be descriptive. I wonder are the things that you're curious about in your questions about, in this case, your video. Then you're going to come here and you're going to hit next. When you hit next, you'll see the PowerPoint that I used for the lessons for the day. The big takeaways that I want you to take away from this PowerPoint are simply the I can statement, but more important, your essential questions. These are the 3 questions that you need to be able to answer by the end of the course. This is what I will be evaluating on your ability to do and show me what you know about these 3 questions. I've also listed the discussion question for the day. So that's something that you'll probably want to maybe talk to a parent about or talk to a friend about, just to uncover and kind of bounce ideas off of people to kind of get that further understanding. This discussion question is related to this video, which you can click on and is linked in the PowerPoint. So watch the video, maybe watch it with a friend or a family member, and then discuss this. Just bounce ideas off of each other. You have also the video with the Edpuzzle. So the purpose of seeing the video twice is that when you do the Edpuzzle, it's going to ask you those leading questions so that you kind of start getting the idea of what's important. What does Miss Mays want me to understand? What do I need to understand? So do this Edpuzzle, please. It is not counted to the final grade. That is not an exemption not to do it. I do not believe in purposeless work. I believe in work with a purpose. So if I'm giving you this, that's because I really think that it's going to support your learning. Then lastly, we have our evaluate. So you're going to have to read these instructions and I'll read them with you just so we're very clear, considering this is our first evaluate and our first formal assessment. Anytime you see the word evaluate, you need to get in that mode that's like, this is important and this is my moment. This is where you like show me that you've met the objective. So in this case, it says respond to the following questions using the reply button. So what are you going to click? You're going to hit reply. Write incomplete sentences. That's important. Your response must show your understanding of our essential questions. What is climate change? How are humans affected by climate change? And what human activities contribute to climate change? And what can we do to stop it? So when you are answering these two questions, you're going to do it with that mind frame of showing me what you know as it relates to those essential questions. So the questions are, how do you feel you make climate change worse? How do you feel you make climate change worse? This is not a question about feelings. I'm not asking you if it makes you sad. I am not asking you if it makes you afraid. How do you feel? How are you aware that you make climate change worse? What are you doing? And then also, not just what are you doing? It's not a simple answer. Remember, you're trying to show me what you know. What do you feel you could do to help slow climate change down? Again, this is not a feelings question. What do you feel? What do you think? What are you aware of that you could do to help slow down climate change? Then you're going to reply to one other student using the sentence starters. Remember, you need to follow instructions. If we look at our rubric here, so you'll hit the three dots and hit show rubric. This is what I'm looking for in order for you when I'm grading your assignment. So things like being clear and concise. Less is more. Like, I don't want you to have to write more. You shouldn't have to have, 3 or 4 paragraphs to answer this. Keep it clean and concise as long as I have the information. Use and define the vocabulary words in the class. I know I'm not giving you a vocab list, but when you watch the video, you should get a sense of the important words because they'll pop up on the screen. Support your claims. So your claim is something like right now, it could be like, my posture is terrible. Evidence of that. Well, I'm slumped over, my back often hurts. You're giving examples to further your understanding. It's probably not the best example, but I kind of don't want to give too much away. So if you make a claim, how do you support that claim with evidence, examples, and your own reasoning? To get 100, you're applying that knowledge to unfamiliar situations. So something that I didn't give you in class. If you're in that 90 category, then you're just using what you learned in the class and you're using it really well. If you're in that 80 category, you're using the vocabulary, you're making a claim, you're supporting it with evidence, but your vocabulary, is just not completely there. And also your examples don't make the most astute kind of connections. And then from this 70, 60, 50 range, I want you to peruse it. I know a lot of us are falling into this 70, 60 range, which is perfectly okay. But we want to shoot for here, and I know you guys can get here. It's just going to take a little bit of time and a little bit of consideration, and stay focused. We're talking about climate change. We're not talking about, saving animals. We're not talking about saving trees. We're talking about why save those trees. How do those animals go extinct? So keep that in the back of your head as you continue with these lessons. Thank you very much. And I hope you're having a wonderful, fantastic, blessed, and glorious day.